Hello, good evening everyone, and welcome back to RPM Esports once again for more F1 action. And it's round 5, the last round of 2022. We have a little break after this before the new year, but yeah, not quite at the halfway point of the season, of this 12-round season. That will come after the next round in Monaco in early January. But we're into a little bit of a back-to-back street circuit run on the calendar with Jeddah this week, and then the first week back, just to get everyone nicely back into the swing of things, and just in case anyone's a little bit rusty, I get them right back to the action with Monaco first week back, and then Singapore following that before Bahrain, China, Silverstone, Baku and Imola complete the season. Shorter season than we've had in recent times, but getting through it. And it does keep things very fast-paced, and also means that there's not a massive amount of time to be missing races or having DNFs. You've got to get points on the board because, as we've mentioned, pretty much almost after tonight we'll be almost at the halfway point of the season. It feels like we've only just started. Good to see we've got Inorganic in the chat, and hopefully he's paying more attention to his driving now. We've seen Good Luck, everyone posted just a few moments ago. We've got Glassy, I believe your driver of the week last time out in Brazil, so good to see him here. He's got the match and the race on, and he says that is perfect. I don't actually have the match on at the moment, so I can't be updating people, but last I saw it was 2-0, so yeah, obviously half-time at the moment, I believe. Anyway, the more important thing, though, is First Division RPM F1 action, and most drivers now are out on their outlap. Sinful has gone for what is a pretty regular approach, and I'm going to assume it's intentional then, of starting at the back. I wonder if he'll stick his usual hard tyres on to go long into the race. Who are we going to find? I believe that's a Alfa Romeo. Is that Rusty, first one onto a lap? I believe it is. So we'll go on board through this first sector and try and remember which way the track goes. Some yellow flags, that's just cars backing up as we come through a left and right section. Not a clue what corner numbers are. It was easier back in the day when they actually had corner names, but through this sweeping first sector that just seems never ending, and then we've got a long left-hander at the end of this straight into the second sector, and it's a little bit banked, but the wall very much comes back towards you on the exit, so you don't want to get too greedy out there. And then more sort of sweeping straights that aren't really straight before another right-left. It's a pretty spectacular circuit to drive, but it doesn't half look repetitive when you're watching on board. But Rose is also out of the session. I'm not sure if that one was intentional. No, he's in the wall there in second one, so that's not gone great. As it's very much a day for getting a banker lap in, isn't it? Don't give it everything on your first run. Just keep it out of the wall. Final corner now for Rusty. Getting the power down onto the main straight, and we'll find out what his time is going to be. We'll go off board for that. DRS wide open, of course, and it's a 1:31.2. And now we're going to find out what the Aston behind him with Goran Potner, a 30.7, and a 32.0 for IJ coming across as well. Smithy, sorry, the McLaren there, 31.2 as well, just slots in ahead of Rusty. And those two have been fairly evenly matched in a couple of races. I believe in Brazil, did they spend a lot of time racing each other? Richie to the top of the pile by a long way, 1:29.7, second clear of Goran Potner and Matty, and we know that they're usually right up there certainly on the one-lap pace as well, as sort of Goran Potner is one of the best racers in the division, so that is a lap and a half from Richie. Whether he's just hit his peak earlier than anyone else and they'll come back towards him, or if he can maintain that, we'll find out over the next 13 minutes, but that's a very good start as he stays out of the way. As we mentioned, then Matty third, and Leakey had slotted into 5th, now down to 6th because Frax has gone up into P4 as well on a 30.8, so just behind Goran Potner and Matty. That's a good lap from Frax. Smithy gets bumped down to P7, then Rusty, the first man across the line, now down to P8. Eunice, I think, is a first race for him this season. I believe, is he a reserve? I think so. He's in the Williams this evening and is currently sitting P9. RJ, we mentioned, is now P10 and Goa P11. All the rest of them have still got time to come, apart from Rose and Sinful, of course. So I've not seen anything from the two Red Bulls yet, and they're both still in the pits. So not sure what that's all about. Inorganic in the other Williams with his fish helmet is on a lap, I believe, so we'll stick with him as he comes into the second sector. Danos at 29.4, so he lowers the time further still, and that is 1.3 seconds clear of Goran Potner. And Danos currently sitting third in the championship, having had 2 wins split by an 8th and a 13th, which obviously it's a bit all or nothing for him at the moment. He'll be looking to get a result closer to the 2 wins than the other 2 this evening, and that's a very good start for him. The only other man not to set a time beyond the 2 Red Bulls is Zabiaka, who I believe was your driver of the week before. I think that was the case for his win in Spa. Inorganic is into the final corner. He's out of the final corner. Won't get any sort of tow because that Ferrari's peeling off into the pit lane. He was a little bit too far ahead. Anyway, and he goes across the line, slots in just behind his teammate for the evening in 11th place. Rusty's back out on track. Westy also... no, sorry, Westy's still in the pits. Jones out on track. So, what was Westy's plan then? Is that another one to sit in the pits and try and avoid the drama? The problem with that is you often get caught up in a little bit more of it further down the back. You can collect someone else's incident. Smith saying, evening everyone, good luck. And Kieran in here with some support from McLaren. Bear with me. Yeah, so Kieran has actually done a couple of races in Premier Division as a reserve this season. I think he has now just been given, by the looks of things, a permanent Championship Division seat in the McLaren, so that's why he's in support of McLaren this evening. Good to have you in the chat, as always. Jones coming across the line. Not seen too much change, have we, so far? No, everything's pretty much as it was, as drivers back in the pits, preparing for a second run. In fact, yeah, there's very little change. Westy now finally out on an outlap. So I wonder if they were just looking for a quiet bit of track, but either way, Jones is on a lap and is approaching, well, oh, he's in the wall! Well, that's another one that's going to be starting down the back then. And, well, whole front right corner is hanging off. So unfortunately, there's just the one Red Bull now. And he's on his outlap, so we'll stay with him. He's about halfway around it. There's not too much action going on elsewhere. I think just pretty much everyone else is all on outlaps. I don't think Goran Potner's on a lap. No. Yeah, we'll stick with Westy as he comes now into the final sector. So hopefully he can do a little bit better than his teammate. Has Frax had an incident, or is he just approaching the yellows there? So yeah, he seems to be fine on an outlap, as all of them just getting in position there. As we get some more yellows, that's the car coming into the pits. Glassy saying unforgiving. Yes, it certainly doesn't let you get away with that sort of incident. Excuse me. Yeah, any other week, like yeah, Brazil, Spa, where it's been the last couple of weeks, if you had a spin like that, you got at least a decent chance of keeping it out of the wall and getting another run. But yeah, definitely not the case here, and won't be the case for another couple of races, as we've mentioned, with Monaco and Singapore coming up. Westy, can he make it further? I think he has made it further, hasn't he? Yeah, he's about to come out of the first sector. Frax has retired from the session. Wait a minute, what's gone on there? Zabiaka as well. We've had some sort of incident. I don't think we're quite going to catch it before the drivers get their cars cleared. yeah, Frax and Zabi both in the wall there. I don't know if that's separate incidents or the same incident, but either way, that's another 2 cars out. So we've lost 5 cars already from qualifying, as Westy is picking his way through the chaos. Yellow flags, of course, not being enforced in qualifying. So Westy will have no problem completing this lap. Glass is saying, yeah, it looks like a collision. Yeah, I don't know if one of them had already lost it and someone else had just gone and joined the accident, or if it was actually coming together, but I'm sure we'll find out very soon. Either way, Westy across the line, P9, so that's a little bit better for Red Bull. And hopefully he can get back to the pits, and he's got time for another run. And if he could gain, a couple of tenths, there's even up to something up to P6. Frax is vulnerable there, isn't he? So there's positions to be had. Who else is on a lap? We've got Rusty, I think, coming to the end of one. He's not improving, he's coming back to the pits. IJ is improving, and that's a good lap. That's going to put him around P10, P11. Oh, wow, what a final sector that was. Gained another 4 tenths and goes P6. 30.7, very good lap from the Alpine driver, who of course won the sprint race last time out in Brazil. Couldn't quite hang on in the main race, of course. But what have we got going on here? We've got Spritzy. Oh mate, my PlayStation's not been plugged in all week, so yeah, no chance of practicing. RJ's going faster again on this lap in the first sector. He's not going to have the energy to do it much further than that. He's completely understeered off the track there as well. Was that front tyre temperature or what? Looked like he had no front wing for a second. What have we missed going on? Matty has gone quicker. He's made it all the way back to the pits before we've noticed that one. So apologies for that, but a 29.5 gets him in range of Danos. Richie's yet to improve on that 29.7. That was so impressive when he first set it. He's now 3 tenths behind Danos. What can he do? Can he get himself back on provisional pole position? Goran Potner's still back in the pits. Leaky is on a lap that will put him around about Rusty at the moment. Unless, no, is he? I think he might have just set that lap actually. Yeah, that's no problem. Now I've just got Backer and Spritzy talking to each other, so I'll leave them to it. Who else have we got on the lap? We've got Richie, he's just started one, hasn't he? So we'll stick with him. It's a little quiet out there now. It's almost like a Q2, isn't it? With 5 cars already out. As the only remaining Aston coming out of the pit lane. And with 4.5 minutes remaining, that will probably be for his last run. Richie taking a lot of curb on the entry there. Leaky has left the session, so that's not ideal. If you can get back in within the next 4 minutes, I think he's entitled to rejoin, but once the formation lap begins, that won't be possible. Smith saying turn 1's going to be full, and Glassy saying a quarter of the drivers out in quali, that bodes well for the race. Yeah, it's going to be fantastic, isn't it? I wouldn't be at all surprised if we have some mixed up results, let's just say that, within the next hour. I've not seen Richie's first sector time, so if anyone wants to tell me if it was any good. Apparently, so last night's practice race might not have gone all that smoothly, apparently, according to Glassy. Zabiaka saying he'll just drive in last place and wait until everybody crashes. Backer saying Smithy for the win. Once again, we've missed Richie's sector time whilst reading the comments. So he could be on for any sort of lap at the moment. We'll stick with him. So he's driving to the line now. What's it going to be? It's a 29.2. Yeah, very good lap indeed. Puts him back to the top and knocks Danos down to second place. And that will probably be, with 3 minutes remaining, probably going to be Richie done for qualifying. Goran Potner has, I think, just started a lap. Yeah, we'll stick with him then, because he's definitely one that could pull something out of the bag. Is Smithy on a lap? No, he's going into the pits. Rusty is on an outlap, I think, by the looks of things. Goran Potner 3/10 up in the first sector, so that's a solid improvement. He'll need pretty much that in every sector if he's going to get onto the front row. What have we got going on here? Spritzy, come on, Goran, get your finger out. 129.1 coming up. Don't worry, Backer. Don't worry about what Spritzy gets up to. What's the... where's the middle sector? It's coming up just around this corner. We've got a yellow flag. Is that Danos? I think it could well be. Yeah, he's facing the wrong way. Goran Potner is almost 8/10 up, so this is very much in range of a front row start at the moment. And with Danos having that spin, which I believe was on his lap, he might not improve. He has got time if he's got fuel and tyres if he was on a lap to get round and start another on the same set. Goran Potner trying to nick a little bit of a toe off the Ferrari there that returns to the pits and goes across the line. Does gain a secondary set the exact same time as Danos. Incredible. So a 1:29.438 is quite a popular time it seems this evening. We've got some predictions for the safety car. We've got 4 from Blocker, Backer and Glassy both. Sorry, Backer saying 5, Glassy saying 6. I hope not, because we want some green flag laps as well. At the moment, Richie is still on pole and getting pushed back into the pits, so he's done for qualifying. Danos is doing what? At the moment, he's not. So he's not used any ERS on this lap, so I think he will be about to start another lap if he's got enough fuel. There's a stray wheel still on the track. Goran Potner's done for the evening. Matty is on an outlap. Westy, I think we may have missed there. No, he's just going on to a lap. Danos, yeah, we've mentioned. So I think most of these are starting laps. And we should be able to catch what's going on. Eunice looks like he's done 27% battery. Looks like maybe low fuel in that as well. So he's returning to the pits. Is Smithy on a lap? No. Snellhank's in the pits. So that's him done. So Smithy's starting the lap. Yeah. So who's going to be the first one across the line? Because Goran Potner's going to come back to the pits. So we're all the way back to Goa, I believe, is on a lap, and then we've got all of them still to come pretty much in only just into the second sector, so they're all going to come at one time. So yeah, everyone's going to, if they're not on a lap, they're not going to get one now because they're all going to have seen the checkered flag. Don't know if Goran Potner was actually trying for another lap there, because he's gone across the line. I did wonder when he was charged up to 100% battery if that was his plan, but he missed it by a few seconds. What's Goa going to do? He's improving by 8/10. This could get him ahead of Inorganic, and if he can keep improving, maybe even temporarily ahead of Westy, who's right behind him on track. No, puts him P13. Westy's improving. Where's this going to put him? It could put him up a fair way, actually. Yeah, P6. Rusty is not improving. It goes back to the pits. Danos not improving as well by the looks of things, so that's going to be P2 only for him this week. He's driving for the line anyway. Matty didn't look like he was improving. No, it stays P4, so I think that's qualifier. No, we've got Smithy still. He's invalidated. Just when we think we've got a lap left. That is indeed it for qualifying. So Richie on pole. And we'll just take a look, catch up on some of the comments. Smith saying top 4 is going to be a great battle. Hans Spritzy giving some support for Goran Potner, who lines up P3. And just waiting on Smithy to return to the pits. And we'll get underway with the race, which we'll see what is about to happen. Congrats coming in for Richie from Glassy, Zabiaka and Spritzy. So confirmation of your qualifying results then. It's Richie from Danos, Goran Potner and Matty. All very quick drivers right up there. And you have to say, so Danos Matty and Grant Potner obviously right up there in the championship. Richie's still P7 despite having 2 DNFs, so he's definitely got a chance of a good result, maybe even the win this evening. You've got to stay out of trouble. Then yeah, Rusty, Westy, Snelling, Smithy, RJ, Eunice, Leaky, Frex, go in organic, and then Royce, Jones, Zabiaka, and Sinful. 4 drivers didn't even set a time in qualifying. Zabiaka saying sorry to Frax for the crash, so that would imply that it was a coming together, and that Zabiaka feels he may have been at fault for it. But either way, we are into the race session now, so that's all over and done with. And very shortly, drivers will be picking their starting tyres, their starting fuel loads, and we'll be going on to the formation lap. Right, here we go then, green light's on, and we're underway on the formation lap. Let's have a look at what everyone's decided to go for in terms of tyres. Once again, as does seem to be quite common with First Division, they're all pretty much on the mediums, apart from Jones, Zabiaka on the softs, and Sinful, pretty much customary hard tyres for him now. Good luck all, enjoy the race. I'll be honest, mate, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name because I'll only butcher it. If I do know you by another name, then please let us know. If not, then welcome to RPM this evening, and hope you enjoy the race. Let's get rid of the spectator menu. So a very fast formation lap Richie's getting on with here. Certainly wants to get on with the race and not hanging about. So interesting, yeah. Jones and Zabiaka on the softs. It's an interesting strategy. They're going to have to make some moves, and sometimes it can get you in more trouble than it's worth, because obviously you're trying to overtake people. No one wants to lose positions early in the race. You can quite easily lose a front wing. Sinful's is the sort of traditional starting at the back strategy of just sort of wait and go long and wait for people to pit in front of you or retire in front of you. And it does give you the flexibility of obviously the safety car. You know what you're going to do if you're on the soft and you just pit and then the safety car out, and it's a nightmare really. But Smith saying pray for clean turn 1. You can pray for it; it might not happen. And Spritzy saying 19 watching, and apparently I'm drawing in the numbers. Not sure why I'd be doing that. Just thought rubbish me. Try and put it together for 25 laps worth. Yeah, and then he predicting an early safety car, to say the least. Either way, we're back on the grid. Very, very soon we'll be underway. That's maybe just a bit of an indication of what's to come. Sinful and Frax both facing the wrong way before they've even got to the grid hatchings. But either way, we've got lights coming on. We've got 3, we've got 4, we've got 5, and Richie now will lead us away. And we've got movement. We can't see a great deal at the moment, so we'll just sort of guess what's happening. Richie looks like he's got away reasonably well, but Danos up the inside. Cautious approach though, doesn't go in there too hot. Richie ran a little bit wide, but just about kept the position for the time being. Danos is still with him though at the inside, and we'll have to slot into second place now. Goran Potner in P3. Matty running a little bit wide. Westy's had a great start by the looks of things. Rusty maybe just dropping down a little bit, but either way, we'll probably have the position change up for the moment. But Richie leads us away. Danos, Goran Potner, Matty, Westy. Westy up 1, swap with Rusty. Down 1, Smithy up 1, Eunice up 2, Snellhank down 2, Frax up 2, RJ down 2, Jones up 4 already on those softs, Zabiaka up 3 as well, he's going with him. Leaky is losing a couple of positions in the house, Sinful down the back on those hards at the moment. Smith saying we've normally had a bot in by now. Yeah, we don't want the bots. Clean start, yeah, absolutely. It's don't want to put too much of a jinx on it, but we did get through turn 1. For a moment, Danos and Richie were looking very close, but the Ferrari is away and gone at the moment, and he's working on putting that 1 second gap between himself and Danos, who Danos currently sitting P3 in the championship, Richie P7. We've got the championship leader, Goran Potner, behind them. Goran Potner yet to win a race this season. He's had 2 seconds, a third and a fourth. He did win the opening round in Portugal on the track, but had a 5-second penalty that knocked him back to P2. So, he'll be looking at taking his first win this evening, but he's got 2 cars between himself and that at the moment, and he's got maybe a couple of cars behind him that will have something to say as well. We're into lap 2. Richie still leads from Danos, Goran Potner and Matty. Westy is looking very racy, isn't he, in the Red Bull on those medium tyres, same as everyone else, but certainly he's up 1 place and looking like he wants to gain another very shortly. Frax is up 4 positions now. Rusty's in the pits, so Rusty, we've missed an incident there by the looks of things. Wow, I can't believe, Fritzy, I've just looked away from the action to bother reading that. Right. Now I've got to find out where I was again. What's happening? Anything? We've got yellows, Who's that? Oh, it's Smithy. Smithy's facing the wrong way. I'm not sure if he's got damage. We can't see. He's going to have to wait until everyone but Rusty has come through. And yeah, there's front wing damage, so he's going to have to come back to the pits. And somewhere, just a moment ago, someone was predicting Smithy for the win, I believe, because he would keep out of trouble. Well, unfortunately, he's down to 17th and he will drop to the back. So, yeah, very unfortunate. Richie then, another fastest lap of the race on, the fastest lap of the race on lap 2. DRS now enabled as Danos is within that window, as is Goran Potner, as is Matty, as is Westy. It's all the way back to Eunice before we get someone who's not within that DRS train. And he's gained 4 places off the start. You have to think that maybe he's just a little bit of a cork in the bottle, slightly out of position now, having had that great start. He's got Mighty Frax, he's got Snellhank, and he's got IJ all over the back of him. Jones as well on those softs. IJ picking up a penalty already. I think we're going to see quite a bit of that this evening. But Jones in the Red Bull, up 6 places. Zabiaka's up 5, but Sinful's up 5 on the hards as well. So obviously a bit of it is Rusty and Smithy dropping to the back, but Sinful looking in a very good position on these hards and sticking with Zabiaka at the moment. Jones 2.1 off IJ. Not sure where the big gaps come from there. Maybe he was caught up in something with Smithy spinning. Either way, what have we got going on up the front? Not quite close enough throughout the lap to look at a move. So it's all as it was. Westy and Matty side by side both have the DRS, but they've now, Matty's dropped back somewhere because he's 1.7 seconds off Goran Potner now, so he's not going to get the DRS onto the main straight as Frax gets past Eunice. Don't think Goran Potner's going to get the DRS as well. He was just over a second behind. He doesn't indeed. Danos now fastest lap of the race at 1:33.4. And Westy, can he make a move on Matty into turn 1? Is that going to be a send? No, not quite. Just a little bit too far behind. That's going to be one. Oh my word! There's a bit of lag involved in there as well, so that's not ideal. Hopefully the driver's not experiencing that too much. So wait a minute, what's happened? Goer facing the wrong way. Doesn't seem to have any damage and hasn't lost an awful amount of time, but not ideal, and he slots in behind his teammate. Roy's in 14th and 15th. Sinful now. I wonder how soon those softs are starting to go off, because the hard tyres on Sinful are looking pretty decent, and Zabiaka's really under pressure here. Only on lap 4, and already the hard tyre seems to be outperforming the soft. Jones dropping off RJ as well, 3.5 seconds now, so it really does seem that the soft is not a good tyre, and that was the wrong choice. It may have gained them a couple of positions initially, but they're really struggling now. Look, Zabiaka off the track again, as we completely select the wrong car there. But easy move for Sinful in the end, whether he stays ahead with the DRS or not. But oh, Smithy has had another incident. Seems like he's just had a bit of a spin, no damage this time by the looks of things, but it won't have done his tyres any good. Hopefully that's not going to do him any further harm, but he really could do with the safety car to get himself back in this. We've got a race on up the front, Richie and Danos. Danos going around the outside, down the main straight with DRS open, and takes the lead for the first time this evening. Richie, your pole sitter, down 1 now. Can he stick with him and get the DRS back himself? We saw that plenty of times with Leclerc and Verstappen, of course. And the Ferrari driver here this evening will be looking to make that work as they come round the latter part of the lap. Goran Potner now, though, starting to look a little bit better, isn't he? He's back in that DRS range of these two, and looking like he could be on the move very shortly. What's happened with... so Eunice and so Frax has ended up back in P8 somehow. Excuse me. Choking on my own air. We've got more yellows. That's Royce facing the wrong way. So a lot of drivers having an incident or two. No one's managed to stick it completely in the wall yet. Danos, though, look at that, almost breaking the now breaking the 1 second barrier within a lap of getting ahead of Richie. So he wants to get on with things, doesn't he? But Jones is out, and he's dropped it, and that's going to be full safety car. And that's probably a little early for anyone on mediums. Yeah, it's ideal for Zabiaka. He'll want to come in and get those off. What do these guys do? Do they put a set of hards on, or do they stay out? Danos is staying out. Richie, I think, is going to come in. Yeah, and Goran Potner. Matty stays out as well. So we've got very much a split strategy now. Yeah, thanks, Fritzy. Thanks for that all. Yeah, I just said no one had binned it. And then Jones. Context curse is back with a vengeance. So Danos, Matty, Westy, Snellhink, Frax and IJ have all continued. Sinful, as expected on the hards, has carried on. Richie has put the hards on. Eunice has come in for a set of softs, which, if we've seen anything at the start of this race, it's that the soft isn't a great tyre. In fact, Jones has dropped it on the soft tyre, so Goring got a 5-second penalty, did he? Oh no. So the pit speeding, by the looks of things, has caught Goran out again, as it did in Portugal. So he's going to have to get a nice gap later on if he wants to, certainly if he wants to win the race. So yeah, Eunice, a strange decision to go on to the softs. Smithy is still on the mediums for his stop a few laps ago. I wonder if he'd be tempted to make another stop. Other than that, it's pretty much a story of the Danos, Matty, Westy staying out, and Richie and Goran Potner pitting, isn't it? Because so Richie and Goran Potner were the only two out of the sort of lead 5 that pitted then. We've gone on to hards. It's very early, but equally, if we don't have a safety car in the next 5 laps, then obviously Danos and Matty and Westy will have to pit under green flag conditions. But as always, it's a trade-off, and Richie and Goran Potner very much in the thick of the action now. and your risk goes up so much, of course. And as we've seen many a time, a safety car can breed more incidents and another safety car. So, yeah, I'm sure they'll not be 100% confident, but they've gone to get the stop out of the way. And now they need to just stay out of trouble and get the laps under their belts and hope for a nice clean race to the end. If it is a clean race to the end, then I would probably bet on Richie and Goran Potner coming through to the front. But yeah, do we really expect it to be a clean race to the end? We're on lap 7 of 25 here. Danos will lead us away. I would imagine probably one more lap under the safety car. Or what lap were we on? Might be in at the end of this lap, actually. So we'll keep an eye on things. Obviously, those on the hard tyres will have a little bit more work to get the tyres up to temperature. What's going on here? Well, Evil's broken his pedal apparently. So, I wonder if that means he's not racing this week. I thought Jeddah was his favourite track. That's what I heard. Either way, halfway around lap 7, are we going to get back to green flag racing on lap 8? No sign of the safety car coming in just yet. We're into the final sector, so you would expect it any time now. Drivers getting temperature into the tyres, did a little bit of weaving, and there you have it, safety car in this lap. So Danos will lead us away into lap 8. Top 6 all on mediums that they started the race on. Sinful in 7th on the hards he started the race on, and then your pole sitter Richie P8 on fresh hards. No DRS for 2 laps, of course, but Matty looks like he wants to get on with things, doesn't he? As Danos leads us on to the start-finish straight. Has he gone? I think he has. Yep, we're back underway, and, well, they've got the jump on Westy by the looks of things. Already a second clear, and Matty looks like maybe even making a move down into turn 1 on Danos. It's certainly very close, but Danos goes a little bit defensive. And, oh, Matty almost losing the rear end there. So close, and now he has fallen sort of 7-8 tenths behind off of Danos. So I wonder if that was just the tyres not quite being up to temperature. Either way, he's going to struggle to stay within the DRS range when it's available in a couple of laps' time now. Westy back to 8 tenths. Snellhank all over the back of him though, and Frax doing a pretty decent job so far this evening. P5 becomes the lead Ferrari for the time being, as his teammates stopped, of course, and we've got, don't tell me that's Smithy again. And it's, oh no, front wing again. He's had the curse put on him by the comments because he just can't catch a break this evening. Leakey has dropped a couple of positions by the looks of things as well. Doesn't seem to have any damage in the Haas. Back to the front though, Danos still leading. Matty, Westy, Snellhank. Snellhank and Frax here. Looks like it could be a move towards the end of the lap. So RJ, Goran Potner and Rusty all penalties at the moment. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see that number grow by the end of the race. But onto the start-finish straight for another time. Danos now 1.6 seconds clear, having had that little slide from Matty. Westy is just within the 1 second window. Snellhank, it's all pretty spread out there, isn't it? Between Westy, Snellhank, Frax and RJ. Sinful still not really making massive progress on those hard tyres, but he will obviously plans on going further than those 6 ahead of him before his pit stop. Oh, a little bit of contact with the wall there. That's not going to be ideal, and hopefully not any front wing damage. But that's put Richie, your pole sitter, and so far net leader in terms of the fact that he's the first man on track to have made a pit stop and completed the mandatory tyre change, as Smithy retires in pit lane. Unfortunately, it's not been a good evening for him. I'm sure he'll be back in the new year. And because he's right up there in second in the championship, so that's a big name out already this evening on lap 9. And well, Richie all the way for the back of Sinful. Where's he going to be able to find an overtaking position? Does he wait for the DRS, or can he find a way through in the second half of this lap? He's very close, of course. Goran Potner just in behind him as well on fresh hards. Eunice on those new softs is right on the back of Goran Potner. But as we've seen with Jones and Zabiaka earlier on, they don't last very long at all. As Richie now looking to make a move. Maybe into the final corner. Sinful's gone defensive. Richie stays on the ideal line. Can he get the switch back? Oh, he's so close. A little bit of contact there. And does now get alongside. Appears to have quite a straight line speed advantage as he takes P7. Goran Potner, can he take advantage of that little incident as well? No, Sinful just hanging a wheel at the inside of Richie and in turn defended from Goran Potner. It's all getting a little spicy further back, isn't it? We've got Eunice, Zabiaka and Rusty all in a line there. So this midfield is pretty competitive at the moment. We've got a mixture of tyres. We've got old hards, we've got newer hards, we've got new softs, new mediums. So yeah, a mix of every sort of tyre you can imagine in that midfield. But at the moment, Richie back up to P7. IJ is on the back of Frax. He's splitting the two Ferraris at the moment. The top 5 have pretty much spread out. Or definitely the top 4. Snelling's still got Mighty Frax for a little bit of company there behind him. At the moment, the top 3, well, the top 2 separated by 1.2, and then Westy 2.4 off of Matty. Maybe just lacking that last little bit of pace to be in contention for the win, but you wouldn't bet against a podium for Westy at the moment. There's a very long way to go in this race, of course. As I think Eunice may have just dropped a position. Did you know what's happened? What have we missed? Not entirely sure. Something's changed around. It's Sinful and Goran Potner that are racing side by side, and it looks like Goran Potner's got that one done into the final corner, and Zabiaka trying to go around the outside of Eunice there. Didn't come off. It definitely looks like there's some sort of net issue around Eunice's car. So yeah, as mentioned, hopefully that's not causing too much of an issue for the drivers. Certainly looks pretty hard work from where we're looking. IJ still within the DRS range to Frax. He's got Richie closing in now as well, and Goran Potner as well then. So those two you would imagine start making their way through now with the DRS. But Richie a little bit wide there. Goran Potner, can he take advantage of this? He's not going to hang about. And Richie trying to be patient, but it's not always possible. You've got another car behind you. IJ doing a very good job of defending at the moment, making that Alpine very wide at the expense of Richie's race. He's got Goran Potner and Sinful right on his tail now, and Eunice just flashing in there as well. It's quite a midfield train we've got from P6 all the way back to almost to P12. And this is very much the closest action on track at the moment. As Richie comes alongside, should get that move done into the left-right chicane. Goran Potner going through as well. RJ just about managing to stay out of the way. Can he keep Sinful behind now into the final corner? He's at risk of being eaten alive by this pack as they come through on fresher tyres than him. I was just about to say, does this mean that those mediums that they started the race on are just starting to go off, as Danos and Wesley both pit on the end of lap 11? And yes, IJ in as well. And so Richie, wait a minute, Richie and Goran Potner have swapped positions. Goran Potner now takes over what is effectively, I guess, the net lead, which is actually P4. And Smith had just said medium runners praying for a safety car right now. Yeah, certainly would do their race the world of good. Certainly, if it was a safety car now, Matty, Snelling, and Frax would be in the box seats. But Richie picks up a 3-second penalty as well, so that's going to just offset a little bit the penalty of Goran Potner. But how soon can Danos come through the field on his new hards now? As Zabiaka manages to make a move on Sinful. So still plenty of life in those mediums that Zabi's put on. And are we going to see Matty in this time? We saw him stay out as long as possible in Brazil waiting for a safety car, and it never quite came for him. But does he pit this lap and cover Danos, or does he try and stretch it out? And as we've mentioned, hope for a safety car. At the moment, what is he clear of Richie? 11 seconds, so probably wouldn't keep that even if there was a safety car. But is he going to pit? No, he's going to carry on. So yeah, as per last week, carries on and stretches it as far as he can. Snelling also carrying on. Frax is going to carry on as well then. So interesting once again. Split strategy between those that were leading. We've had Danos and Westy in. The top three all continue on still. Eunice is in off those soft tyres. Once again, that has not worked. That really is not an option unless you're right at the end of the race. And after a safety car or something. So inorganic picking up a penalty. Goran Potner now then to once the top three are pitted, he needs to clear Richie by 2 seconds then, doesn't he? Because he's got 5 second penalty, Richie's got 3 second penalty. At the moment it's about 1.3 seconds. So and Zabiaka could help that a little bit if he can get involved in this fight. Could help his teammate out quite considerably. As Danos already making moves, and just about. He's very tight there between the wall and Royce, who he takes 10th position off of. And he's got a little bit of clear air now, 2.6 seconds to go, and then there's quite a few cars that are starting to spread out, so that might make it a little bit easier for Danos to come through the field if he's only got to pick off one at a time. Because what is the gap between him and Richie? It's about 7 seconds, and he's on 7 lap fresher tyres. Very interesting. We've got so we're on what's this happening here? This is Zabiaka and Richie, isn't it? Fighting for P5, and Richie struggling for electrical energy at the moment, only 6%. So and what's happened there? We've got I think the other Ferrari and Aston having a little bit of an overtake as well. Goran Potner takes over the lead from Frax, so that puts more time between him and Richie. The other three have finally pitted. Well, no, sorry, Frax has continued on. Matty and Snelling have finally pitted. Both gone onto the hard tyres. They'll easily go to the end at this point, of course. So what's Frax planning? It must just be for hoping for a safety car at this point. There can't be much left of those mediums, you have to say. Zabiaka is doing a good job, but he's probably going to have to pit again. Well, he's almost certainly going to have to pit again. He went to the mediums under the safety car, by the looks of things, which I'm not sure if he'd gone to the hards when, or had he already put the mediums on? Maybe. How many stops has he made? So he made 1 stop, so he must have put the mediums on after his softs. I do wonder why he didn't go for the hards like everyone else. He'd have been in a very strong position right now, but either way, he's on the back of Frax and about to make it an Aston 1-2. So both Aston and Ferrari doing a very good job at the moment. They're taking the top 4 spaces. Sinful P5 yet to pit. Rusty pitted at the end of lap 1, so he's on effectively the same strategy as Sinful. Minus 1 lap of tyre wear. And we've got Goer up the inside, or is that defending from Danos? It looks like defending from, yeah, the Mercedes coming back through. I think Frax may... No, he's gone on for another lap. Sinful's pitted off his hards before Frax has pitted off his mediums. It's incredible. So it's an Aston 1-2, Ferrari 3-4, and then an Alfa Romeo in 5th. And the Mercedes of Danos is on his way in P6 at the moment. Westy's not quite come through as quickly as Danos has. Matty down in P9 as well, still has to clear the 2 Alfa Tauris. So yeah, lap 15 is 25, and it's all still pretty mixed up. We've still got drivers having to make their pit stops, and we've got penalties for some as well, as Frax lets Richie go, which having not pitted and been on all the tyres, it's a sensible thing to do. So Richie takes over P3, but at the moment is too far behind Goran Potner to take the lead on penalties, isn't it? What do Aston do with Zabiaka? How much further can he go? We've seen anywhere between 11 and, well, 14 laps for Frax at the moment. Zabis are currently at 9 laps, so he's not got a massive amount of time remaining. And the problem he's got is he's in a position. Does he have another set of mediums? He might have another set of mediums that can go to the end, because yeah, softs wouldn't go to the end at this point. Hards, you're sort of not going to be quick enough on. So yeah, if he's got another set of mediums, that's the perfect tyre to go to, as Danos takes P5. So Danos with no penalties is starting to come into range, isn't he? And he's got, as we've mentioned, 7 lap fresher tyres than those ahead of him. As Frax has finally pitted, Rusty pits as well off his hard tyres. So Zabby's probably hoping for another safety car, isn't he? Because the likes of Richie and Goran Partner, what with another safety car in a lap or two, they'd probably pit off those hards, wouldn't they, and put a set of mediums or something on. Zabby runs a little bit wide there. Royce picking up a penalty as well. What have we got going on in the pack? We've got Matty coming through, probably going to clear Goa, you'd imagine, before the end of this lap with that sort of tyre offset, and a bit of DRS as well. Snellhank coming back through, is on fresh hards. He's part of that Westy group that didn't pit under the safety car, I believe. Yep. It's not quite worked for them, has it? They're down in 8th and 9th at the moment, although, as we've mentioned, Zabby probably has to pit again. Royce almost certainly has to pit again. Goa should make the end, yeah. So they'll get a few more positions, but it's probably looking like an outside bet at a top 5 rather than a podium. Frax has gone to new softs. They're not going to make the end. That's a bit of a strange decision. I wonder if that was intentional, but Sinful has gone to the mediums as expected, so you'd like to think he can come through fairly quickly against used hard runners. Leaky is a long way behind, so I'm not sure if he's had some sort of issue. How many times has he pitted this evening? Just the one time. But whatever he did for a fairly long way. But yeah, not sure on what's happened to Leaky. As Goran Potter runs a little bit wide, Zabiaka running even wider once again. We've seen that a couple of times now. What Goran Potter does not want to be doing is picking up a track limits penalty, because that will put Richie and certainly Danos back within range. At the moment, I think Danos probably is, isn't he? Yeah, Danos is... sorry, what am I looking at here? Yeah, Danos 4.8 off of Goran Potter, with a 5-second penalty for Goran Potter. So Danos, I would imagine, is probably going to be leading the race effectively at the moment. Zabiak is still to pit, and Richie and Goran Potter both penalties. So that's the situation on lap 17 of 25. As we've got effectively an Aston 1-2 as it stands. Doesn't seem to be that much communication between them, because you would have thought maybe a lap or two ago would have been the perfect time for Zabby to be let through, but is he going to pit? No, he carries on. Into lap 18 we go. Has a little bit of a look, but he's not going to try anything too wild, of course. Not going to take both the cars out of the race. Richie still looking strong for a podium as it stands, because Matty is just a little bit too far behind to be taking advantage of that, but he can't hang about. And he is on older tyres, of course. Simple sets the fastest lap of the race, so 1:32.4 on his medium tyres. So the two Astons still running very close to each other, and we've got the Haas of Leaky. I wonder if that's even Leaky in that, because did we see him leave in qualifying? Has he actually ever been back in the race? Not entirely sure. How rough are those hards going to be? 19 laps old. Probably not great. They pitted obviously under the safety car, didn't they? The ones that have got 12 laps on at the moment. So, yeah, I can't... Obviously, a couple of laps of that was safety car running, so it's not taking everything out of the tyres. But yeah, I can't imagine they're going to be brilliant by the end of the race. Certainly Danos is looking very strong at the moment, and Matty as well. Maybe Westy and Snellhank come back into this. Maybe, yeah, as we mentioned, those who pitted under the safety car, maybe they run out of tyres before the end. Zabby's still carrying on his mediums though. We saw Frax went very far on the mediums as well. So you'd imagine the hards can make it to the end. It's just a question of how much pace they have, and certainly with two of those hard runners having penalties, it's going to hand the advantage to the likes of Danos and Matic. Still, these two Aston Martins running half a second apart at the front. Not too much action to shout about further down the field. But Sinful gradually making his way through on the mediums, but Snelling and Westy pretty close to each other, as they have been for quite a bit of the race, it has to be said. And beyond that, yeah, Sinful back up to P11 now. What he would have loved would be a safety car a lap or two ago and bunch them all up, and he could use his fresh mediums to the end. Looks like 0.8 a lap from Matt to Goran. Yeah, certainly. Can we get a last lap? Is that a thing? No, I wish it was a thing. But no, unfortunately we can't. And I pressed the wrong button now. Great. Yeah, Goran Potner doesn't. Obviously, he's not pulling away from his teammate. Who's on 13 lap all mediums, so it doesn't look like he's got a massive amount of pace. You would expect he would probably be using it at this point if he had it, because obviously with the penalty, you can't afford to back this loss up. As Zabiak continues into another lap 20 of 25. We've not got long to go now. If he is thinking about a pit stop, then he's going to have to do it fairly soon. I wonder what his tyres are actually like in terms of wear. Hopefully not into anything like puncture territory. But at the moment, if the race were to finish now, Zabiaka would win, because he's got no penalties and he's only 9/10 off his teammate. So, but the problem for him is we've got 6 more laps. Glassy saying surely Zabi's just going to pray to the finish. I can't see how you can do it. You can't do almost 20 laps on a set of mediums. The biggest thing I don't understand is why Zabi went. So he started on the softs, and under the safety car, he went to the mediums. So why would you do that? Why would you not go to the hards? He'd be looking at a race win again right now. His second win of the season, would it be? Yeah. And he's 4th in the championship. And Smithy's out. So that would be a big step for him. It's just a shame the race is going to be a little bit too long for him. Smith saying he's got so much ERS. Yeah, he's certainly not. I think he could get past Goran if he absolutely tried. But he's a little bit of protection right now, isn't he? Is he finally going to go for it? No. Having a little bit of a look. You can just imagine he gets a puncher and takes them both out whilst he's just having a look up the inside. This is interesting. Danos on the back of Richie. So once again, Richie struggling with Angie. Got that red light flashing and drops behind Danos. So maybe these hards aren't in great condition, but that's sort of countered by the fact that Zabi's still out there on mediums. Smith saying he must be in punch territory. He can't be far off. This is now the furthest we've seen a medium go, isn't it? Frax, I think, took them 14 laps. Maybe 15, I'm not sure, but it's certainly as far, if not further, than we've seen them go. Either way, I don't think it's going to work out, because I think Danos is about to do the pair of them. He's coming with some serious pace, and Glassy's saying the ultimate commentator's curse about the puncher. I didn't say it first, so it's not my fault if it happens. If he takes Goran Potner out while he gets the puncher, then yeah, fair enough, I'll take the hit on that. But as it stands, Danos is about to take potentially the lead in the next lap or two, and it would be 2 consecutive wins, which would not quite put him to the top of the table. It certainly put him ahead of Smithy, who's not scoring this evening. Goran Potner would imagine stay at the top of the standings, but once again would miss out on a win. So 5 races in. Oh, the bots are in. Lovely. You can newer dating online. Okay, interesting. Thanks for that. It was going to happen at some point, wasn't it? What have we got? Zabi's in the pits. So we missed that thanks to the bot. Soft tyres. Interesting. So he's gone soft, medium soft, and he's going to come out in a lot of traffic. So that means that's good and bad, I suppose. He's in a lot of traffic. That's bad. But there's a lot of cars ahead of him that he could potentially overtake within this last 4 laps, so that's good. At the moment, Goran Pontner then still leads by 1.6 seconds, but Danos is coming pretty quickly. Matti also, you would expect to probably overcome them in the next couple of laps. He's got 8 lap fresher tyres than Richie, so and a fair bit more ERS. Zabi's got a 3-second time penalty, so that's unfortunate, as Frax picks one up as well. And Frax must be struggling on 6-lap old softs now as well. That can't be going too well for him. Is Matti inside that penalty to Goran? Let's have a look. He is just by 0.3, yeah, so Goran is going to be dropping down to P3 at the moment. Goran Pontner would still be on the podium because Richie would drop back to P4 as it stands. So, yeah, as it stands, it would be Danos, Matti, Goran Pontner, Richie would be top 4, and you have to say, at the moment, so Royce is doing the Zabi strategy, 15 laps on his mediums. Goa has done 16 laps on his hards. It's looking pretty decent for AlphaTauri at the moment, isn't it? If they can hang on for another few laps, 5th and 6th for them would be a very good result. I'm sure Westy and Snellhenk and Zabiaka would have something to say about that. Simple's dropped back a little bit somewhere. I'm not sure what's happened there. We also have some yellow flags. Is that Eunice? I think it might be. Russ is still going. He's not had the greatest of evenings. He's had a couple of incidents, unfortunately, as IJ takes inorganic. So what's happened to inorganic? Some sort of incident there. Dropped down to P14. Snellhenk and Zabi. Zabi goes through into P8, so he's absolutely got to get a move on. I wonder if that was why he was saving all his ERS. Oh my word! We've just mentioned the AlphaTauri is going well. Unfortunately, goes spun and knocked the front wing off, and Zabi having to react pretty quickly there. Westy's not got much ERS at all, so this should be a fairly easy overtake, as we've got an overtake for the lead as well. So Danos moves into the lead. Goran Pontner down to 2nd place, and he'll probably need to use the DRS to pull himself along there and try and get as far ahead of the likes of Matti as possible. Richie could do Goran Pontner a favour by holding him up here a little bit, as Zabiaka gets ahead of Westy. But back to this fight down into turn 1. Is it going to be a fight? Yes, they've both got pretty much no energy. Matti just with the DRS takes it, and takes effectively 2nd place with that as well. So what can Zabi get? This is going to be interesting. So Zabi, he's still got that 3-second penalty, isn't it? That's going to hurt him a little bit. He's got almost 2 seconds to Snellhenk. No, it's more than 2 seconds just to Snellhenk. Zabi's looking like potentially P5. Depends what other people's penalties are. Let's go a pits for a front wing. So that's pretty much. And retires, unfortunately. That's a shame, because there was certainly a point or two on the table there for just completing another lap, especially with Eunice and Leakey a long way down. He definitely could have picked up probably a couple of points. Probably would have saved 14th. So yeah, Danos is looking comfortable as it stands on lap 24 of 25. Almost completed that as well then, so almost round into the final lap. And it would be his 3rd win of the season, his 2nd in a row, and a big step forward in the championship for him as well, with Goran Pontner probably finishing 3rd at the moment as it stands. Zabiaka has hit the back of Royce. That's interesting. That's going to let Westy probably through on both of them, because Zabi's got quite a bit of front wing damage from that. I'm not sure if Royce has had some sort of incident in terms of puncture maybe, or if it was just the fact that he was so much slower on those old tyres compared to Zabi's new softs. Can those new softs overcome the damage to the front wing? That will be an interesting one to monitor on the final lap, but either way, what's happening up the front? We've got yellows. Zabiaka's spun! Oh no. Certainly plenty of twists in this race. We've got some yellows down the other side of the track as well. That seems to be Eunice, who's had another incident and has no front wing. Snellhink up into P6, so Roy's struggling. I wonder if he's got some... Oh, has he got a puncher? I wonder if he's got some rear wing or diffuser damage from that contact with Zabi as well. Certainly struggling. There's not a massive amount of close action. I think that's probably about it for the race. As we come round into the final couple of corners, Danos has stuck with it and wasn't tempted to pit under the safety car, which probably turned out, in fact, did turn out to be the right call, and also stayed out of trouble with the penalties. So yeah. Incredibly, it was a fairly clean race after that initial safety car, and Danos takes his second win in a row. Goran Potner comes across the line in second, but I think Matty will take that, and he does indeed. Goran Potner P3, Richie P4. Westy is coming into the final corner and will pick up some good points. He's fifth in the championship at the moment. Will pick up more points than Zabiaka and more points than Smithy, so it's a good day for Westy. Doesn't quite match his best result of the season, does he? Yeah, he had a second actually in Suzuka, fourth in Belgium, fifth here this evening. Snellhink takes P6, Sinful P7 on that alternate strategy once again. Zabiaka in the end ended up P8. Rusty, after all that, after everything he's been through, ended up with P9. Roy's unfortunately dropped to P10 on 19 lap old mediums. That's a fair effort. Frax on 10 lap old softs made it to P11. Inorganic on the hard tyre there made it P12. RJ and Eunice 13th and 14th, and I don't think we've had Leaky for quite some time, but either way, perhaps he's going to come across the line in P15, and we had three non-finishers of Goa, Smithy and wow, Jones. That seems a while ago now, doesn't it? And that completes your order then, or it will do when we have Eunice come through. He's still going without a front wing, and just about to cross the line. What have we got in the chat? Spritzy, great race, great comms. Thanks, guys. It certainly was a great race. Yeah, very good race. Yeah, not sure about the comms. I think you need to get someone else. Leaky saying his internet disconnected before the race start. Royce apologising to Zabi, so maybe we didn't quite see that as it happened. Congratulations to Danos from Richie. Rusty is happy with his drive back to the 9th place. Westy not entirely happy with a few things going on. Yeah, I think that's about it. So yeah, that's all the comments from the chat. That's a few comments still coming through on the Discord. I'm sure they'll come through for some time. Quite a few penalties there to contend with, but that is your complete finishing order. Danos with another win, certainly looking very strong. Goran Potner keeping the podiums and the points ticking over. But are those 5-second penalties the second time this season? Are they just costing him a few too many points? He still will lead the Drivers' Championship going into the new year, though. And Richie, unfortunately from pole, couldn't make the podium. Did that penalty cost him it in the end? Not quite. So no, just sort of missed a little bit of pace there as well in the end. Maybe didn't 100% get the strategy right, but it's a difficult one to call with the safety car coming out so early. Westy P5, Snellhink, Sinful, Zabiaka, Rusty, Roy's, Frax, Inorganic, IJ and Eunice. Leaky was disconnected. Gower retired a couple of laps from the end. Smithy and Jones we lost earlier on. Thank you very much for joining us. I'll be in the Discord with my driver of the day a little bit later. I've had time to consider things, but yeah, thank you very much for joining us. Championship tomorrow, of course, Premier on Thursday, and then we're off for Christmas. So yeah. From me until the new year, thank you very much for joining us. Enjoy your Christmas, enjoy your new year, and I'll see you back in Monaco. Thank you.